All right, my friends, I'm going to try to get through number 2 before the bell rings. I am recording at school, so you always get a lot of background information. So just keep that in mind and be patient with me. So we have x over 2, or this can also be written as 1/2 of x, either one, whichever way you would prefer to solve it. So then we are going to add 7 to both sides to create that zero pair. So we have half of x is equal to -10, and a positive 7 would give us a -3. And because I have half of x, I can multiply by the reciprocal on both sides in order to isolate x by itself. That's going to give me x is equal to a -3 times a positive 2, which is a -6. And I can multiply those once and say 1 times 1 is 1, and this -6 would be over 1, but we know that there's always that kind of invisible 1 there anyway. So we have x is equal to a -6. I'm going to plug that back in to my equation. -6 over 2 minus 7 is equal to -10. -6 divided by 2 is going to be a -3, and a -3 and a -7 are going to be equal to a -10. So my equation is balanced. All right, maybe I can get through one more before the afternoon bell. We'll see what happens. So we have 3x plus 12 is equal to 48. I'm going to create that zero pair with -12. 3x is equal to 36. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 12. Plug 12 back into my equation. 3 times 12 plus 12 is equal to 48. 3 times 12 is 36. Oops, sorry. Plus 12 is equal to 48. That is true, and my equation is balanced. All right, let's look at number 4. We have -6x minus 10 is equal to 20. I'm going to add 10 to both sides to create that zero pair. -6x is equal to 30. Divide both sides by -6. Gives me x. I'm going to isolate that variable of x. 30 divided by -6 is going to be a -5. So x is equal to -5. Let's plug that back in to check. -6 times -5 minus 10 is equal to 20. So we have -6 times -5. It's going to give us a positive 30 minus 10 is equal to 20. Or we can combine 30 and -10 either way. And this would give us 20 is equal to 20. My equation is balanced. Okay. So I have 12x minus 17 is equal to 33. I'm going to add 17 to both sides. That gives me 12x by creating that zero pair is equal to 50. Divide both sides by 12. X is equal to 4 because that's 48 and 2/12, I believe, or x is equal to 4 and 1/6. I'm going to pause right here because the bell is about to ring. Give me 1 sec. All right, guys, so we have number 6, x over 4, or 1/4 of x, however you would like to write it. All right. We are going to subtract 5 from both sides, create that zero pair. 1/4 of x is equal to 20. Multiply both sides by 4 over 1. Okay, this gives us x by itself. 20 times 4 is 80 over 1 would just be, still continue to be 80. Remember, we can write it like this, but it's really just an invisible one. So x is equal to 80. All right, guys, pause here, and then we will come back and we will do the next section. All right, so this time we are solving two-step inequalities. We have -3x minus 11 is greater than 45. I'm going to go ahead and create a zero pair by adding 11 to both sides. That leaves me with -3x is greater than 56. Sorry, Ms. Brown was having a hard time adding that together for whatever reason. And then we are going to divide both sides by a -3. That gives us x by itself, but because we divided by that -3, we got to flip that inequality symbol. -3 can go into 56. What is it? That would be 1 time. Oh, I'm trying to do, hold on. All right, I'm sorry. Somebody came in my room. Let's try this again. We have 56 divided by a -3, okay, because this is a positive 56, I'm dividing by a -3. My answer is going to be negative. We already flipped that inequality symbol because we divided by the -3 on both sides, okay? -3, 56 divided by -3 would give us 18, okay? And it ends up being 18.6 repeating, okay? I know that because if I were to do the long division, I would finally end up with 20 minus 18 is 2, and then I'd carry another 0, and it would just keep going and going and going and going, okay? So if you have a question about that, come see me at tutorials, okay? So for this one, we have 10 minus x is less than or equal to 35, okay? You can rewrite this as -x plus 10 is less than or equal to 35. If you want to have the variable all the way on the left, it's up to you, okay? So then we're going to create a 0 pair by subtracting 10 on both sides. That leaves us with -x is less than or equal to 25. I can't have a -x, so I'm going to divide both sides by -1. That's going to leave me x by itself. I got to flip that inequality symbol, and 25 divided by -1 is a -25. So I'm going to write my answer up here. X is less than or equal to -25. And that will be my answer. All right, for 18, we have x over 2, or 1.5 of x, either way, however you would like to write that, minus x, can't talk. Start over. For number 18, we have x over 2 minus 8 is greater than or equal to 18, or you could rewrite this as half of x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 18, however you would like to think about that problem. So we're going to go ahead and create that 0 pair with adding 8 to both sides. That leaves us half of x is greater than or equal to 26, okay? I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 2 over 1. That gives me x by itself. I'm just moving up here because I'm running out of room. Is greater than or equal to 26 times 2, okay, which is what, 52? And then it would just be 52 over 1. So we don't have to worry about that part of it. So x is less than or equal, x is greater than or equal to 52. So
Mr. Moore, please report to the LGI. Mr. Moore, please report to the LGI room. Thank you.
Now y'all can officially tell that it is after school. This is what happens all the time. X is greater than or equal to 52. So any number either equal to 52 or greater will satisfy this solution, okay? I could say 54, I could say 60, I could say 392 if I wanted to, and it would still make this inequality true, okay? Let's look at 19. We have 30 is less than 2x minus 6. I'm going to rewrite this so that the variable's on the left-hand side. So it's going to be 2x minus 6, okay, is greater than 30. And I'm going to solve that way, okay? Just makes my life a little bit easier to have the variable on that side so then I don't have to switch the inequality at the end. So I'm going to create the 0 pair by adding 6 on both sides. 2x is greater than 36. Divide both sides by 2. Gives us x by itself, so we've isolated the x, is greater than 36 divided by 2 is 18. Open circle, anything to the right of 18 would be included as a solution to this inequality. So it could be 20, it could be 25, it could be 125. All right, so we have 1/2 of x plus 12 is less than 18. I'm going to create a 0 pair by subtracting 12 from both sides. That leaves me 1/2 of x is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 1.5. x is going to be equal, I'm sorry, x is not equal because this is an inequality. X is going to be less than 4. Because 6 divided by 1.5 is 4. So x is less than 4. Any number to the left of 4 on the number line would be included as a solution to this inequality. And last one, number 21, we have 16 is greater than or equal to 6 plus half of x. So what we're going to do is rewrite this. I'm going to say 1.5 of x plus 6 is going to be less than or equal to 16. And the reason I'm doing that is to get the variable on the left-hand side. It prevents me from having to flip down there later and all that good stuff. So we're going to take away 6 from both sides, create that 0 pair. I have 1/2 of x is less than or equal to 16 minus 6, or 16 and negative 6, if we combine them, is going to give us 10. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2/1. Okay, that's going to give me x is less than or equal to, well, 10 times 2 is 20, and I can put that over 1, but I don't have to. X is less than or equal to 20. So this would get a closed circle if we were going to graph it. It would be a closed circle, and everything to the left of 20 would be included as a solution to this inequality, including 20. All right, guys, I'm at 11 minutes on this timer. I know I got to go a little bit further, but I'm going to go ahead and pause this one before I get to that 15 minutes, and I will be right back for video number 3.